My name is Michael, and this is my story about my wife's repeated infidelity. Once I decided to take a walk with a friend, get some fresh air, and drink a cold beer. We went into a store, and there I saw her, a beautiful and charming girl who was simply impossible not to notice. That evening, plucking up courage, I decided to meet her. Our acquaintance quickly grew into a close relationship, and we began to spend time together, gradually getting closer to each other. 6 months later, we got married, and a year later, we had a daughter. We were happy and full of joy, and I did my best to take care of my 2 girls. 6 months after my daughter was born, I left for work in another state. Upon my return 2 weeks later, I accidentally discovered on the computer a shocking dialogue between my wife and a guy. She wrote to him that she doesn't live with me. I cheat on her. I don't give her money, and in general, I'm a bad person, and how much she wants to come to him so that he can spank her in the shower. My wife denied it, said her account had been hacked, but eventually admitted that they had been communicating and promised it wouldn't happen again. But unfortunately, that was just the beginning. Sometime later, my wife and I went to visit her parents, and it turned out that she had pawned all the gold I had given her, including chains, earrings, bracelets, and even her wedding ring. It was a shocking revelation, and my mom told me many unpleasant details I didn't know about. My wife claimed it was necessary because of the lack of money for the baby, but in fact she had always been financially supported by my parents. I got upset and went home, leaving her and the baby behind. A week later she returned with the baby, and I forgave her, hoping that this was the last incident of this type. However, after my work in another state, the relationship between us became strained and there were frequent conflicts. Eventually, in late December, she left, and I found out that she had cheated on me. It was a blow to me. Eventually, it came out that she had 2 other boyfriends and had cheated with each of them, which was a final disappointment to me. It's impossible to tell you how hard it was for me at the time. But I finally pulled myself together and filed for divorce and left for work in March. After 3 months, she started contacting me, begging for forgiveness and claiming that she didn't understand what was happening to her and that she couldn't live without me. In the beginning, I ignored her, but I always loved her dearly and couldn't help myself. She apologized and begged me to take her back. I decided to give her another chance because I didn't want to break the relationship with my daughter. She came back to me, and at first everything seemed good. She was willing to do anything to make things good for us. Even when I took her with me to another state where I found a new job, she seemed like a different person, leaving the baby with my parents. However, after a few weeks, I found correspondence in her phone with another man, and she didn't sleep at home a few times. She bought new clothes, bags, and even expensive cognacs, although I didn't give her money, knowing she would just spend it. Later, it turned out that she was selling her body for money and had several clients. After that, I could no longer continue the relationship, and asked her father to take her away. She didn't object, and now our child has stayed with me and my parents. I am not going to give the child to her because I know she is not an example for him, and I am sure the child will grow up to be a good person with me and my parents. This has been my story, and although it's very hard for me, I'm sure things will get better with time. She is trying to come back, but I have no intention of giving her a third chance as I can't get over her cheating anymore. This story vividly demonstrates that trust and fidelity in relationships are fundamental. Cheating and long-term deceit led to the destruction of this family. The lesson to be learned from this story is that honesty and mutual respect should be priorities in a relationship. If trust is broken, rebuilding a relationship can be extremely difficult, and sometimes a breakup becomes the only option to preserve one's own well-being and health. Do you think it was worth giving his wife another chance? Write your opinion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. See you soon.